AOC had a town hall. Didn't go too well. Did not go well at all. In fact, Jose Vega, he interrupted AOC during this town hall. Now, we talked about Jose on here before. He did the same thing to Jamal Bowman. Jamal Bowman also looked shocked as well. But one thing I do want to add here, and I do want to make this very clear, because we're going to talk about both sides of this to be fair. I think it is important that you do know that Jose, he has mentioned this as well. He was on RBN earlier today, that Jose, people were calling him out on Twitter saying like, this you voted for Trump and da-da-da. Okay, he didn't deny that. That being said, just because someone voted for Trump, that doesn't mean they don't have the right to criticize AOC, especially with this particular issue. So I do want to make that very clear, because I have seen people on Twitter basically pointing fingers at him, like, how dare you criticize her? You voted for Trump. So what? So what? I want to make this very clear here before we get into this video here. All of these AOC simps on Twitter and on YouTube who are angry at people for calling her out, angry at people for trying to hold her accountable, I want you to remember that those same people a couple of years ago were asking you to do the same thing to other politicians. So this idea that you can't criticize progressive politicians, it's a dangerous idea. I'm heavily against it. Every politician should be criticized if they are in the wrong and they are not doing their job, period. All of these people simping for AOC, this is that whole idolizing politicians that I've talked about before. You should not idolize politicians. For the people who ask me, why am I criticizing her? I am criticizing her when she is in the wrong. I am criticizing her because what she is doing is not right. And it's not what she said she was going to do when she ran for office. I want to remind you again, I heavily supported AOC and Bernie Sanders. All of us at RBN did. Nick and Rome canvassed for Bernie Sanders. Nick quit his job to travel to canvass for Bernie Sanders. So I want to make that very clear before people come to me and say, oh, you're just some secret right winger. Nah, bro. I gave Bernie Sanders a lot of money. A lot of money. So you ask me why I'm criticizing her. I am criticizing her because she is in the wrong. My question to you, why are you always running cover for her? What is it for you? What's in it for you? Why is it that every time someone criticizes AOC, why here you come trying to run cover for her, to protect her? Why? Now let's get into this video here. So AOC had a town hall. Jose posted this video and he wanted to press her about her funding, her support for the funding to Ukraine. Now, I agree with almost everything that he says in here except for one thing, and we're going to talk about both sides of this. So let's go ahead and get into this clip.
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because there are a bunch of war hawks. Okay, you originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against. That's what you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or no? Okay, simple. Are you going to stop nuclear war? Yes or no? There is no line, because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead. None of it. You know that. Then let's take it up right now, because this is the only thing that matters. This is the only thing that matters right now. We could be in a nuclear war at any minute, and you continue to fund it. That's what's going on. Why not right now? You're the liar here. Nobody has held you accountable. That's what's happening. And it is time for you to stand up and realize that what you've been saying has been lies. Let your conscience come through for once.
Woo. Okay. Where do I begin? Let's see this again. And there's certain parts. First of all, I want to show you something. Look at the crowd in the room. Look at the crowd.
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie with what he just said? Did she not vote that way? Yes, she did. Didn't Joe Biden recently say that he's concerned we might be headed towards a nuclear war? That's not a lie. This is all true. There's a part here I told you that I disagree with. I'm going to show you something about that in just a second. But let's go back in.
AOC she's left the Democratic Party because there are a bunch of war hawks, okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine.
Okay, he said she ran as an outsider, but look at the way that she's been voting, right? All of them, not just her, but she's the one holding the town hall right now. Like I said, he also, Jose and I don't think his friend was at the last one, but Jose also talked to Jamal Bowman about this as well at the town hall that he hosted. These are the people in the community. This isn't just some journalist who traveled to New York, to her district, to go to the town hall. These are the people that live in the community. These are her constituents. And I told you guys before, I've talked to people that live in her district, and they are not happy. Look at the room. Look at the people in the room. Where are all the people? Where are all the people? This room is like half empty. Do you know how full this room would have been 2.5 years ago? This is showing you the decline of support for the progressives in Congress. This is AOC. She's the most popular member of the squad. She can't fill a room for a town hall. I pointed the same thing when the squad came to Boston. They came here for that tour that they had in Boston. I said they couldn't fill the Somerville Theater. Times have changed.
You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens?
Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You know why? Because her life will be protected. Those people, the congressmen and the senators and the millionaires and the billionaires, and some of those millionaires are senators and congressmen as well. Those people are going to be protected. They probably have underground bunkers that they can go to. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow in reference to Bill Gates. They have, you don't think those people, they'll be protected before us.
Playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization?
He's right. He's right. She's supposed to be a progressive socialist. Why are you voting to fund war? What happened to the sign? What happened to the pledge that these Justice Democrats signed? It doesn't mean anything. It meant nothing. And you're voting along with it. She's shocked right now because someone's calling her out, and they should call her out. And this time it's someone in her own community. Yes, they should call her out. They have every right to. So this is a problem. If there is a nuclear war, he's correct. There will be no neighbors. What is she talking about? You're sitting up here holding a town hall. This is what we're going to try to do in the community. Do you not realize what you supported?
He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against.
Did you hear what he just said? I believed in you, and you became the very thing that you sought to fight against. And this is the problem that a lot of us have with these progressives in Congress. We really did believe in them. A lot of us supported them, canvassed for them, and they've become just like the people that they're supposed to be fighting against. He has every right to be as angry as he is. He has every right to speak out the way that he is. Now, he made a comment about Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because there's this theory that's going around that Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war. Tulsi Gabbard is not anti-war, and I'm going to show you evidence of that because I think it's only fair to show you an example. She is against some regime change type wars. I totally get that, but that doesn't make her anti-war. I don't think she's ever said she's anti-war, but some people have been saying that. To that point, though, Tulsi Gabbard leaving the Democratic Party, I support Tulsi Gabbard leaving the Democratic Party. I hope she's not going to the Republican Party. I've been told that she is going to be independent. I hope that's what remains, because the two-party system's corrupt. Leaving one side to go to the other side, it's still corrupt, it's still corporate, it's still bought. I didn't agree with some of the things that Tulsi Gabbard said in her announcement video when she said she was leaving, not because she was leaving. I give zero fucks. I'm not part of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. But some of the things that she said, it did sound like right-wing talking points. And I'm just like, bro, come on. You could have just said you were leaving. But to the point that he is making, AOC and all those members of the squad, if they were brave and bold, they would also leave the Democratic Party. Keep in mind, Tulsi Gabbard is not in Congress. And she was considered to be the darling of the DNC. She was next in line. You guys know this, right? She was supposed to be the one. She was the darling DNC person they wanted to push forward until she turned around and said 2016 that she was endorsing Bernie Sanders. Just like that, they were like, nah, we can't support you. You are done. That's how quickly the party can ruin you. AOC and the rest of the squad members have realized that. That's why they've been voting the way they've been voting. And that's why they've been backing Joe Biden, even when he's incorrect and wrong. Because they don't want to end up like a Tulsi Gabbard. They don't want to end up like a Cynthia McKinney. So I think that's important for people to know. Let's go on.
That's what you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or no?
He's right here too as well. Why won't she do that? All of those members of the squad right now can stand up and say, you know what? This is not going our way. We're all leaving the Democratic Party and we're going to start our own thing. All of them can do that. And you know what? People would follow them. People would follow them. You don't think some of those AOC stands and supporters would follow AOC wherever she went? They would follow her. If they left and said, I'm done with the Democratic Party, we're going to start like a third party, or you know what, we're going to put our energy and focus on the Green Party. We're going to put our energy and start a movement on the outside with labor. People would go with them. Their followers would follow these. Some of them would. They would go with them. They're not going to do that, though. You know why? Money. Money. They've gotten used to the perks. So, yeah, I will say she doesn't have the guts to walk away from it. None of them do. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Okay, simple. Are you going to stop nuclear war? Yes or no? There is no line because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead.
That's right. So you notice that she still wouldn't answer the question. And by the way, she was tweeting about this as well today. She still didn't answer the question. She tried to deflect and blame something else. And I want to add this point as well. At one point in this video, she tells him that he's being rude. I'm sorry. He has every right to be rude at this point. This idea of being nice to politicians, nah, we're over it. I was nice in 2008 when I voted for Obama. Well, actually, it is kind of Joe Obama. I was nice then. People are over being nice. Why should we still be nice to you when you continue to lie to our face? Why should we still be nice to you when you take money from working class people and you sold them out? You took money, $5, $10, people's last bit that they had from working class people, and then you sold working class people out so that you could have a career in politics when you said that you didn't care if you were a one-term congressperson. They have every right to be angry and every right to be rude to you. You are not a queen. You are not a princess. And this idea that we can't criticize someone because they're a progressive in Congress, it's utter bullshit. Let's go back in.
None of it. You know that. Then let's take it up right now because this is the only thing that matters. This is the only thing that matters right now. We could be in a nuclear war at any minute and you continue to fund it. That's what's going on.
Yep.
Why not right now?
Never right now. Why couldn't she answer the question right then and there? Why is it always, let me talk to you afterwards? Isn't this her constituents? This is her group, right? These are the people in her district. Why can't she answer that question in front of the people in her district? Yes or no? Are you going to continue to support it? Yes or no? It's that simple. Jamal Bowman did the same thing. I'll talk to you afterwards. No, you answer the question now in front of all these people. You are being rude.
You're the liar here. Nobody has held you accountable. That's what's happening. And it is time for you to stand up and realize that what you've been saying has been lies. Let your conscience come through for once.
And she's still lying, by the way, because she was lying on Twitter as well. She was lying on Twitter as well. Now, unfortunately, something happened to Jose after that video went viral. Now, Nick, my comrade from RBN, posted this. After Jose called out AOC for pro-war votes and went viral, Twitter locked his account. This is despicable censorship. Jose will join us on RBN today to discuss. And he did. He joined them earlier today. And it says here, we've temporarily limited some of your account features. And that's Jose's account there on Twitter. And then it goes into this whole what happened thing. That video went viral. You see how this works? Interesting, huh? That quick. Now, to this point, I did say I wanted to give you an example. I think that's only fair. So I do want to make sure I play that because I do hear people, they keep saying this, that Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war. She's not anti-war. And I'm going to play an example of that. Check this out.
To the American people.
I think it's important for the American people to understand that Islamist jihadists are continuing to wage war against us. And the Islamist ideology, not the same as the religion of Islam, but this Islamist ideology, which is a political ideology that inspired the terrorist attacks on our country on 9/11 is the greatest threat that we're facing right now in this country and the world. It is the foundation of governance of so-called Islamic countries like Turkey and Iran and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. And it's what's behind the discriminatory policies that they have in these countries against Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, and others. So as long as these Islamist jihadists are waging war against us, we have to work to defeat them militarily and ideologically. And militarily, we have two choices in how we do that. Number one, we can continue to invade and occupy and nation-building countries around the world, just as we did in Afghanistan, at great cost. Number two, we can take a targeted approach using airstrikes, using our special forces to go in and go after these terrorist cells. The reality is that the cost to the American people, the cost to our troops, the cost to civilians will be far less if we take this very targeted approach to go after these jihadist terrorist cells than if we continue making the very same mistakes that we saw in Afghanistan and other parts of the world of invasion, occupation, and nation building.
Her words, not mine. Now, I know that some of you like Tulsi. It is what it is. That's cool. But I think people need to stop saying that Tulsi Gabbard is anti-war. She's not. Now, there's something else I do want to show you, because I told you that AOC did respond, right? She responded on Twitter. Mehdi Hassan tried to come in and defend her. Mehdi's liberal and he ain't got no skin in the game. So, of course, he came in to the rescue. Here comes Mehdi. Now he comes in and he says, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Let me make this larger for you guys. He was talking about Jose's video here. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, screaming hysterically about opposing war while praising Tulsi Gabbard, avoiding any mention of Putin and blaming AOC. Embarrassing. And this is what some of the AOC simps have done. They are directing the attention to Tulsi without talking about how he is correct about what he said about AOC. That's true. What he said about AOC is true. So let me show you what she said. So here she come. The worst part, which of course they cut from the clip, is the fact that they were yelling over a deaf constituent asking a question and continued to do so when it was made clear to them that they were yelling over a person with a disability. So I told you that Jose was actually on RBN today and gave his account. So here's what Jose said in reference to that. I don't know if AOC saw this or not, but whatevs. So I responded to AOC and I said, Jose said on stream today it was an email you were reading from a deaf constituent. I kid you not. I kid you not. Do you guys say she bad? People don't try. You know, you can't do good lies. Like, I don't know. I don't know. When we talk about the funding, even the Intercept's complaining about the funding. Let's go in. I'm not going to show you the whole article, but I do just want to show you some of these numbers. Keeping track of the numbers is challenging since the war started. Let's go down here. Now, this was in September, so keep this in mind. Anthony Blinken announced a new $675 million package of U.S. military equipment, as well as $2.2 billion. We go down here. President Biden unveiled $3 billion aid package. Here we go down here. The administration noted on that occasion that the total military assistance committed to Ukraine this year has reached $12.9 billion, more than $15.5 billion since 2014. Goes on to say here, Biden also asked Congress to authorize an additional $13.7 billion. Then we come down here. Some analysts estimate the true figure of the U.S. commitment to Ukraine is much higher, up to $40 billion. or 110 million a day over the last year. But you can't give the American people health care. You can't force the vote for Medicare for all, though. So people have a right to be upset. And the defense that I'm seeing for people about this, it's really strange. Because it's even got to the point now where people who want to remain neutral are now being demanded to not remain neutral. And I want to know why mainstream media isn't talking about this. Ukraine sends message to African countries. They're dipping their toe into Africa now. Listen to this. Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmitry has called on Africa to back Kyiv in an upcoming UN General Assembly vote to condemn last month's referendums that resulted in 4 new regions joining Russia. Now, for those who are not aware, Africa has decided to remain neutral. Africa was like, look, this is not our thing. This has nothing to do with us. Your country doesn't even treat our people with decency when they were in your country. Now you want us to support you? What? Nah, bro. No. So it goes on to say here, there's one piece, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's one piece that I do want to highlight here about the demands. Africa's support is needed now more than ever. African nations must stand by international law, territorial integrity, and peace. So that's coming from Ukraine. This is a hot mess. Demands. Foreign Minister Dmitry demands the continent's leaders ditch their neutrality over the conflict in his country. I'm going to say this as nicely and politely as I can. Leave Africa the fuck alone. Leave Africa alone. Stop trying to come in to tell these African countries what they should and should not do. Leave them alone. AOC, Jamal Bowman, all of them, they're complicit with this. The way they vote in Congress on legislation, that matters. I'm going to go to some of the comments. Kitty says, hands off Africa. Yes, get your hands off. Don't touch it. Thank you for the super chat, Colin. Even if Jose wasn't a constituent, AOC is funding Ukraine with our tax money. We have a right to ask politicians what they are doing with our money when it comes to international issues. Bingo, Colin. Bingo. Nico P. Cori Bush should be called out next. Oh boy. JB says she voted for this NATO proxy war. She's complicit in the threat of nuclear war. Exactly. Their votes matter.